We will start our meeting today reading the message from the book Christian Agenda by André Luiz. Useful reminders. Do not continually ask for spiritual guidance. If you already have a deepened worth of Christian concepts, then you understand enough to know what to do. Do not waste your energy trying to straighten out others by imposition. When we are straightening ourselves out, we will realize that the world is administered by the divine wisdom, and that the obligation to cooperate continuously towards goodness is our fundamental duty. Do not blame the discarnate spirits for your failures in life's struggles. Note the rhythm of your own life. Examine your income and expenditures, your actions and reactions, your manners and attitudes, your obligations and decisions, and you will recognize that you have the situation you sought, and that you reap exactly what you have sown. Do not appeal systematically to your spiritual friends with regard to petty everyday tasks. They are equally busy and confront problems greater than yours, and their responsibilities are more grave and immediate. Within the common struggles on earth, you would not have the courage to ask a generous and kind professor to perform the functions of a babysitter. Do not wait for death to solve the problems of life, nor claim sickness or old age as an excuse to stop learning, because we are still very far from heaven. The grave does not bring a miraculous transformation, but opens a wider door to our own conscience.
In that way, we start our meeting today, elevating our thoughts and feelings, perceiving ourselves as immortal beings as we all are, beings essentially of goodness, of light and peace. May we focus our attention in this ambient where we find ourselves at present. All selves and all of those in the spirit who are with us. Blessed by the help of those who anticipated us, the enlightened beings, the cooperated of goodness, who are here also to inspiring us for one more opportunity for us to learn a bit more, to actualize our belief systems within the natural laws in the universe, understanding that we are all immortal beings, created by God with love, in order for us to learn to love ourselves, to love others, to love life, to love the opportunities that the universe has granted to us for us to evolve, to progress. There was greater understanding, greater wisdom, greater ability to serve and to love. May it be in our homes, our communities, our workplaces, as we are all brothers and sisters in humanity. May the love and peace of Jesus follow upon each one of us here today. And gathering in His name, we start our meeting. So be it. Welcome every one of us as we continue our studies of the Spirit's book, where we are all learners, where we carry on studying together with enlightened spirits who brought these teachings for us. We are coming to the end of the Spirit's book. We are reflecting on the conclusion, which is the final part, and we are on the item 8, where we are reflecting. And we just read through where we finished last week, so for us to situate ourselves, and then we carry on reflecting, as we always do in an interactive way, where we are all learners, all students, and all invited to contribute, to bring their doubts, their contributions, so that we learn together. So we finished last week on the paragraph which says, conclusion, part 8. Who will say that the appointed time has not arrived, as the spirits have affirmed, and that the days have not arrived in which truth, badly comprehended or falsely interpreted, must be ostensibly revealed to humankind to accelerate their advancement? Is there not something providential in the spirit manifestations being produced simultaneously all over the globe? So what do we get from this paragraph if we were to reframe it according to our own words? What is it about that we are presented here? If we were to say it in our own words, how we understand it today, knowing that as more as we evolve, our understanding also evolves. But currently, how is that coming to us?
Because we have enough intellectual development now to start understanding the truths that we didn't before.
Okay.
We now start to understand all the teachings of Jesus in a deeper way.
Okay, because we are now more mature, we evolved, and therefore now humankind, which is all of ourselves, whether incarnate or not, we are ready now to understand it in a more deeper way. And in that way we carry on. We don't go through gradually. It is not a single individual, a prophet who has come to warn us. Instead, the light is shining far and wide, and a whole new world is unfolding before our eyes. Just as the intervention of the microscope has revealed the unsuspected world of the infinitely small, and just as the telescope has revealed the myriads of unsuspected worlds, spirit communications have revealed the existence of an invisible world surrounding us, whose inhabitants rub elbows with us at every moment, participating in every we do despite our will. What is that now telling us, or how do we understand following the previous paragraph in developing our thinking?
Just teaching us that there isn't a heaven far away or a hell far away. There are spirits surrounding us everywhere, and we are constantly communicating with them. And the more we study, the more we can deal with it in a healthy and better way. And just as comparison, this broken microscope and the telescope. So in the way that we can see things more precisely, it's the same when we study Spiritism. We can understand the spiritual world with more precision.
Okay, correct. And when we take the first phrase, it is not a single individual, a prophet who has come to warn us. Instead, the light is shining far and wide, and a whole new world is unfolding before your eyes. How do we understand it? I find it very philosophical, very profound. So apart from what Cynthia said, what else comes to our minds? Is that helping us to teach that the Spiritism is not the teachings of a single individual, but yes, it is the teaching of the enlightened spirits. As they say, the light is shining far and wide, because the teachings of the enlightened spirits who present Spiritism is coming from where? Is it not from Jesus? So that light is shining, light in terms of knowledge, the different viewpoints about the reality, about ourselves, and that is unfolding before our eyes. Do we have examples how that is unfolding on earth before our eyes?
I understood maybe wrong. I understood that all the spirits are communicating to us all over. That's why they say not only one person is telling us, but so many.
Precisely.
In all the social levels, not only one, in all religions, we have this talking to us about the reality.
Yes, why are the enlightened spirits communicating to different groups of people on earth? As you said, different religions group. Why is that happening?
I think the time has come for us to understand we are immortal spirits.
Correct, the time has come that Jesus is revealing the real world to us, yes? Such as that we are all immortal, correct? Because mediumship, as you said, or the communication with the spirits, with the humans, that is a natural faculty that happens not within people in Spiritism, but with any field of spirituality, or even those who don't believe in it, because it is a natural faculty, helping us to understand that we are not the physical body. We are spirits who have a spiritual body and express ourselves through the physical body. Okay, what other aspects? or immortality, which they are presenting to us, that we are ready now gradually to understand it. What else? Would I be right in saying that these teachings, the light that shines everywhere, is teaching us that we are all brothers and sisters in humanity, despite of the different religions, despite of the different backgrounds? Is that also? What else? Because what we are invited to reflect here is God's laws, isn't it? The immortality of the soul, the communicability between the spirits. We are all brothers and sisters in humanity. What else?
Teaching us to make the most of our time here on earth, to learn and to overcome our shadows, because this is the purpose of reincarnation.
Precisely. What else? So taking advantage of the time that has been granted to us on earth, for us to evolve, for us to progress, understanding that we essentially, internally, we need to activate that motivation to take advantage of the time and also to invest in our own evolution. And therefore, we are helping, cooperating towards the evolution of the collective being as well. Is that?
I think then when we say participating, everything to do despite our will, it's like another experience. Like sometimes we are doing things that's not what we really want to do, but maybe we are being used. Sometimes not in a good way. So we also alert for us to be aware.
Precisely. If we are alert, which means we are aware of who we are, spirits who are on this school earth, in order for us to evolve spiritually, because we are not from earth, we will transcend it. And as more as we clarify that within ourselves, we also will learn to make different choices. Yeah? It's stimulating our free will according to the will of God. And in that way, we can go faster. Is that okay? Then we move on to the next one. Chris, would you like to read it for us, please?
Yet, in a short time, the existence of that world, which surely awaits all of us, will be as incontestable as the mere microscopic world and the great globes lost in space. Would it not have been to our advantage, therefore, to have been given notice of this world and to have been initiated into mysteries of the life beyond the grave? It's true that these discoveries, if we may call them such, are contrary to certain established ideas.
Okay. Would you like to comment? What is that now? Following our reflections here. Do we have an idea? What are we learning here now? Yet, in a short time, the existence of that world, which surely awaits all of us, will be as incontestable as the microscope world and the great globes lost in space. What comes to our minds?
Soon everyone will understand about the spiritual world, and you understand as clear as we do about the space and all other things that before we didn't know.
Correct.
The
Correct.
bacteria and everything that now we know so well.
Yes.
So I think soon everybody, all of us, everybody will be aware.
Mm-hmm. So sooner or later, all of us as humankind will become aware of the reality of the immortality, or of the reality that we are all immortal beings, spirits. Anything else?
Yeah, I think we come into this point because we see a lot of academics already studying about the existence of the soul. And we see that we come into this point that they say, and I was thinking in a short time, I wonder how long is that instead of that for myself.
I think it's different than all time here, yes? What is short for the higher spirits? But I would say we are closer now than ever, because as Sibel said, on academic level, on a scientific level, we have plenty people worldwide who are exploring more and more, researching more and more about the immortality of the soul. Even in psychology, we have the last school in psychology, transpersonal, which also englobes the spiritual reality. So it's coming more and more. But why is that coming and appearing more and more in these fields of knowledge? Why?
We're all seeking for the truth, and whether we like it or not, because of our personal interest, we'll at some point we'll be facing the truth, and we cannot hide it.
Correct.
Much longer.
Correct. Would I also be right in saying, because that is the will of God, And can we do something against the will of God? Can we do something against the will of Jesus, who is the governor of planet Earth? Its time has come for us to detach ourselves from the materialistic viewpoint, to understand that we have the immortality in front of our eyes. And that in that way, people who are also spirits in different field of knowledge, they also are inspired by the enlightened spirits and are receiving information through the continuation of the evolution of the field of knowledge that they are in, and they receive that and they carry on in presenting it. So we can see it globally everywhere, more and more coming, because that is part of the natural unfolding of truth for us on earth.
We see in the part of the Spirit's books as well, in the law of progress. Sometimes we can hold progress, but not for longer. Because it is a law of God and the will of whether we like it or not.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else that you take from here? It's really challenging the established ideas, as he said, towards the end. It is true that these discoveries, if you may call them such, are contrary to certain established ideas. How is that phrase coming to us? Which kind? When we say the discovery is about the immortality of the soul, that we are immortal beings, that we are under God's laws. So which kind of established ideas are they contrary to?
The idea of hell and heaven.
The idea of hell and heaven. So within Spiritism or the natural laws in the universe, there is no such a thing as hell and heaven, but there is the hell and heaven on a conscious level, meaning as more as we are good and working towards goodness, we have the heaven within. And the hell is our shadows, yes, and is transitory. What other established ideas will be challenged here?
We are not only matter.
We are not only matter, so what are we?
We are more than spirits.
Temporarily in the matter, yeah. What else? What other idea?
We are not here on earth just to enjoy ourselves in a reckless way. We are here to learn and to grow.
Correct. We are not here only to enjoy ourselves from a materialistic viewpoint, but also to learn and use the time to help ourselves and help others. Yes. What else? It also brings a different reference in relation to materialism to us. So we are entitled to have the money to work for it, and that is also part of our evolution, but not to be enslaved by it, not that we become dependent on it. Correct? And also, what do we learn in relation to the established ideas of position, social position? Could that also change?
The temporary tasks that are put this way given to us to help ourselves and others, not just ourselves.
So they are transitory. The different positions that we may occupy on earth, they are transitory. Sooner or later, we free ourselves from the physical body, the position is over. Which kind of position as immortal beings can we go through on earth in order to learn? Which are transitory.
Position of leadership.
Position of leadership. Position of a king. Yeah? And then if I don't awake on time, I will free myself sooner or later from the physical body, but I may still think that I may be in a body in that position. But the positions on earth, they are transitory, and they have a unique purpose for us to learn, nothing more. Is that making sense? It's the same as the position as a mom, as a dad, as a child, as a brother, or as a sister, or as a boss, as an employee. Those are transitory positions. Okay? And then we move on now to the next one. Cynthia, would you like to read it for us?
However, it is not true that all great scientific discoveries have also modified and even overthrown the most established concepts. Has it not been necessary for our self-centeredness to bow down before the evidence? The same will occur with Spiritism, and soon it will have the rights of citizenship among the rest of the areas of the human knowledge.
Okay. What is that now? bring into our reflection.
How it is our knowledge? Because even if you think, for example, about physics, when we thought we knew everything and then a new idea came and changed everything, it is difficult to accept.
Scary, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is why it takes so long sometimes to break the old patterns, isn't it?
Even if we know it is true, it's quite difficult to accept. And then comes Spiritism and tells no, it's not just the physical body, you're much more than that. And there is so much you can learn and you can do. I think it can be scary if the person is not ready to hear that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would be scary because we are not ready to hear. What else would be behind our scaredness or our resistance?
We always say pride because we don't explain why.
I would say pride, and we also become attached to our belief system, thinking that that is the truth, and we know that we are all under the law of evolution as humankind. That means that our thinking is also under the law of evolution. That means that it will also change. But yes, I would go with you. Sometimes we can get attached through pride and selfishness. No, I'm right, it's full that way, and imagine that I would imagine if I'm a king today, that I will be perhaps someone who is sweeping the street in the next incarnation. But yet, that is the reality, and there is nothing wrong. We occupy one position, we occupy another with the same purpose, learning. To learn what? What do I learn in sweeping the street? What can an immortal being learn sweeping the street? Is that a honorable, dignified task? Yes. To learn what? Hello? Humbleness, what else can we as immortal beings to learn? Humility, resignation, obedience, humbleness, as it was mentioned already. What? Discipline, obedience. There are so many virtues, because as I mentioned previously, the different functions, the different occupations, they all favor us developing our virtues. Anything else that we take here? How is it not been necessary for our self-centeredness to bow down before the evidence? What is coming to this question? Withdraw the established concepts. How is it not necessary for our self-centeredness to bow down before the evidence?
You're saying about the scientific.
Precisely.
So now the same way they will have also to bow down from the scholars from the immortality.
Mm-hmm.
So the same way.
Okay. So it's almost like helping us self-centeredness mean how can we not, or we need to overcome that in order to embrace the new reality, the new concepts, the new understanding. Otherwise, we may temporarily refuse them. The same will occur with Spiritism, and soon it will have the rights of citizenship among the rest of the areas of human knowledge. How is that? What do we understand with that? What do we understand about Spiritism? Soon we'll have the rights of citizenship. What is that about?
It will also be studied like all the other areas of human knowledge.
It will be part of the different fields of knowledge here on earth where people will be studying. Because what is Spiritism about? Why will Spiritism be studied in the other fields of knowledge on earth?
It talks about us, our spiritual nature, where we came from, where we're going to.
Because Spiritism is a science which deals with the nature, origin, and destiny of the spirits and their interaction with corporeal life. And then we are more and more becoming aware through those different knowledges, who we are, where we came from, as you said, what we are doing, what is the purpose on earth, why to value life, why to go through hardships, why to relate with each other in a loving way, why to make effort if I don't like someone to forgive. Is that making sense? Okay. And then we carry on now. Communications with the beings beyond the grave have enabled us, as a result, to comprehend and behold our future life, and to initiate us into the sorrows and joys that await us according to our merits. They have led persons to spiritualism, persons who did not see in human beings anything more than matter, anything more than an organized machine. What do we learn now here? If you take the first phrase, communication with the beings beyond the grave, what comes to our minds? Could be scary with someone. What?
The ghost.
Ah, the ghost. Okay. What else? Communications with the beings beyond the grave. Some people may be scared about it, yeah? But what do we understand? Yes, that is not physical. But we could even say, what I like always to say, let's see if I can say it in English, what the great French philosopher Leon Denis says, that death is life and life in abundance. What he means is that death is not physical. We sooner or later will free ourselves from the physical body, but carry on our life through eternity. That is quite consoling, knowing that we will not die, that our dear ones will not die. We choose free ourselves from the physical body in one way or another, but that is part of the natural life action. It's not a punishment, it's just a natural way, because we are not from earth. We are coming from the spiritual world, we are temporary on earth in order to learn, and sooner or later we free ourselves from the physical body and go back to the spiritual world as immortal beings, as spirits. We keep on alive. We keep on talking with others. We keep on listening to others. We keep on learning. We keep on progressing and evolving. Anything else?
These spirits, are they like a memory of spirits, or do they have a real existence?
They have a real existence.
But is it like someone passes away? There are spirit form. And sometimes it says it's not there, it's a memory.
No, they are there. They may sometimes not, it takes some time for all of us to become more conscious within the new reality. And that timing depends how much we evolved morally. As much as we evolve morally, quicker and shorter the time will be. But in the stage where we are, all of us, when we free ourselves from the physical body, we have some time of adjustment. And sooner or later, quite often, a lot of us, we still are attached to certain experiences on earth, and then other spiritual benefactors or dear ones to us, they come and help us to wake up. Look at you, we are no longer there. Sometimes we are attached to a suffering, whatever happened, and they come and help us to recover ourselves now towards the new reality, because we have the perispirit, which is, or let's say, spiritual storage, where we leave everything recorded, and then we come back again and understand gradually ourselves, being highly ourselves psychologically, emotionally. We are a spirit in essence. We have the spiritual body, which we call perispirit, and we express ourselves through the physical body. So when it's time for us to free ourselves from the physical body, we carry on our life through the spiritual body.
I'm just wondering, because when we pass out of the physical body, this perispirit.
Yeah.
When you arrive at your essence, does the perispirit also?
The perispirit will be developing gradually as we evolve on the rational and emotional level, which are the two wings of our evolution. The perispirit, as we do understand, and I understand, as more as we become more subtle, more ethereal through our evolution or progress in the universe, we also will dematerialize more our perispirit. Our perispirit in the stage where we are on earth, for some people, can be quite similar to the physical body, such cross and things. And as more as we free ourselves from the vices, from the negativity, and we develop more the virtues, which are the essential values in life, we also subtilize the perispirit, and it becomes lighter and lighter. And I think there will be a point very far away where it will be only one thing. We don't have yet the knowledge, but that is the way that I see, because when we say that we spiritualize ourselves, we dematerialize ourselves, then it cannot be in the way that is here. Is that making sense? Yeah. Are we okay here? Did we go through? Okay. Then move on to the next one. Hence, we are correct in stating that Spiritism has killed materialism by way of facts. Had it produced nothing else, the social order would still have to be grateful for that. But it does even more by showing the inevitable consequences of evil and consequently the necessity of the good. The number of those in whom it has aroused better sentiments, neutralizing their evil inclinations and turning them from wrongdoing is greater than supposed and is increasing every day. What do we take from this paragraph now? What do we understand by the first phrase? Spiritism has killed materialism by ways of facts. How is that phrase coming to us?
By showing that we are immortal spirits, that the death of the body is not our death.
Okay.
As immortal beings, it's completely opposite to materialism, which considers that we are only matter, nothing else.
Okay, what else? Killing materialism, showing that nothing on a material level belongs to us actually in reality. Is that also teaching us? Because we can suffer quite a lot, we can become quite attached to material things. We are entitled to use it and interact with it while we are on earth. But it's also showing us that once the time arrives for us to free ourselves from the physical body, we cannot take anything. How do you say the thing that we lie in when we die? Coffin. The coffin doesn't have any drawer. we can't, there's no space to take anything. The only thing that we take, what we storage in our perispirit, that is what we take with us. Anything else? Then it says, had it produced nothing else, the social order would still have to be grateful for that. Why? Social order, what we understand about social order and Spiritism. Is there any correlation? Is there any correlation with Spiritism and social order? Yes or no? It's a question, by the way. What comes to our minds? What is the Spiritism helping society? Is the Spiritism, the teachings of the Enlightened Spirit, is that a positive input on the social order, on the social level? Which kind of elements are there, or evidences, or contributions?
I can think of two. The purpose that Spiritism teaches us to become a better being.
Correct.
And the second is charity. It always says that we need to practice charity, so we can see a huge impact, especially in Brazil. You see that there was a research, and the result, the data showed that Spiritists are the ones who practice more charity. I think that this is where you can see the impact on social work.
Correct. And what do we understand about charity that makes such a huge impact on the social level?
It can be expressed in giving things, material things, because there is still a lot of need.
Helping others then in terms of feeding them, in clothing them, what else?
That can also be shown through forgiveness.
To forgiveness. Tolerance towards the shortcomings of others. Would we be right in saying that learning to be indulging towards the imperfections of others, that has a very great positive impact on the social level? We would diminish a lot of aggressions and fights and this evil that goes on, let's say. Learn to be indulgent towards others also have a great impact on a social level. Be forgiving towards the shortcomings of others in the family, in the society, that has a great positive impact, that will help to harmonize more those groups. We have a positive input on that. But it does even more by showing the inevitable consequences of evil and consequently the necessity of the good. How is that? Does even more show the inevitable consequences of evil? What are the consequences of evil on the social level? What is evil?
Spiritism, evil is everything that is against God's laws. Every action we practice.
Such as?
Like harm of people, for example. Could be gossiping, could be killing each other.
Gossiping, slandering about each other, pride, actions that are expressing pride or selfishness, intolerance. What else? Dishonesty, disrespect, lack of dignity. What else? So it's all the shadows that we bring within, yes? And as more as we now get aware about the natural laws in the universe that are presented to humankind, and we incorporate them within ourselves as a free choice of renewing us, of actualizing ourselves, then we will choose to overcome our own shadows and therefore be a better, positive, good element in the society where we are, helping to change the paradigms of behavior. Is that correct? The number of those in whom it has aroused better sentiments, neutralizing their evil inclinations and turning them from wrongdoing is greater than supposed and is increasing every day. Examples. Do we have examples? Is goodness rising in society, on earth? Yes. How do we have evidence on that?
I think our awareness about what is good and what is bad is increasing. So we know our discernment on what is evil is discerning that it's growing. That's why it seems that there is more evil now than there was before. It's just because we're changing the method, that's why. So what was considered being something bad now wasn't before. That's
Correct.
why it was just.
Correct. Are there more and more campaigns and projects in terms of well-being of humankind? Are we seeing that happening more and more, such as?
This increase concern with mental health.
Correct. It's very, very huge, this increase, which is very good. It's showing that people from different fields of knowledge, they're coming more and more forward and helping, showing that this is a need that is happening in society, and they come together and are presenting their voices and want to do engaging projects and helping, realizing that humankind is in need of help, psychologically and emotionally. One of the evidence is the ascended number of suicides, and that is calling our attention in the society as well, that we need to do something from the early age onwards. Any other example that we can see that goodness is coming more and more forward in society?
More people concerned with the environment.
More and more people are concerned with the environment, yes, and newer generations. That means that the spirits will be, those awareness will come already back to earth. What else?
In the schools, they always have projects to help homeless and send money abroad to help almost every week.
The homeless?
Yeah.
Very
almost
good.
every week in the schools.
Oh, really?
The schools always choose like 2 or 3 charities that we have throughout the year.
Oh, that's very good. That's very good. Raising the awareness that we are all brothers and sisters.
The kids are happy to help.
Good.
Because not only the parents send money, but they understand that they watch the project. The teachers put it for them to watch, and they see where their money is going to.
That's very, very good. Really building a state of mind in cooperating and also developing the universal fraternity, because that overrides the barriers of cultures. Yeah, very good. Any other aspect? Human rights, is that also an aspect that is showing already? Yes. Helping also to see the rights as a human being, which is a mortal being. Would you like to read it for us, please, next one?
For them, the future is no longer a vague idea, nor a simple hope. It's a reality that can be comprehended and explained once they see and hear those who have gone before us as they lament or rejoice over what they didn't know. Those who witness these communications are led to reflect on them and to feel the need to know, judge, and amend themselves.
Would you like to comment? Okay. How do we understand when we read, when we heard, when we start from the beginning, go down? The future is no longer a vague idea, not a simple hope, but a reality that can be comprehended and explained once they see and hear those who have gone before us.
Once there's the understanding of the universal rules, there's a definite understanding which allows the person to take responsibility. Otherwise, they will be faced with things which work against them.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess when they can comprehend there's the calm, that supports them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What else apart from what has been said? If we were to say it in our own words.
I think when people that don't believe, when they see or they hear, they experience the communication, especially if someone from their family that's gone before them, then they will start to believe. So they have the proof that they need.
Okay. Okay.
And then they're gonna try to change themselves. But with the message, they'll say, oh my gosh, so it did so and so bad. That's why I'm in such a situation, so I should do better now.
Would it be then a stimulus?
Yeah.
To see those who anticipated us as immortal beings and they come and tell us, well, it happened this and this and this for me, so please correct ourselves or improve ourselves, behave in a different way. Life continues, the law of cause and effect exists. Whatever we do to others, we are doing to ourselves, being hard ourselves. Yes? What else? What can we change here on earth in the state where we are for us to later on not to regret, or later on feel more joy?
What came to my mind is the book Heaven and Hell from Allan Kardec, because there is a lot of examples written in the book where the spirits live after the grave, they reflect on what they have done and what they could have done.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one, a man who wrote a letter to his grown child, and he said just to make the most and be alive while we are on earth, like just to make the most of your opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is something to reflect on.
Excellent. So which kind of examples have we already heard of through readings, through books, or even through mediumship work that we hear directly from those who anticipated us? Which kind of experiences that we, who still are in the flesh, can take advantage, learn from?
To be humble.
To be humble. What is the importance for us to learn to be humble?
Especially those, let's say, high positions, because we all go through them. But it's very important to have a humble attitude towards others, because there is no such a thing as how can I explain? There is nothing above God, even if you are a king or a queen. So it's important to know that you are in this position.
Very good. So perhaps for us now to learn as immortal beings, I may come back to earth occupying the position as a king, but I'm not a king. Is that a difference when we think in that way? Because we often get attached to the position. I'm a queen. No, I'm not. I choose occupying as an immortal being that transit to the position, but I'm an immortal being. Correct? So in that way, learning to be humble means learning now to develop our superior faculties and understanding that humbleness is not weakness. Humbleness is the greatness of the heart.
And also to learn usually when we are in those positions to help a lot of people, because we have a lot of power.
Correct.
It made me think of a politician that I really like, Theodore Roosevelt, because as soon as he became president, he had his shadows. He had a lot of wrong things, but he helped a lot of people in changing a lot of laws. And his purpose was to help others. If you have this in mind.
Yes, then we are right, because when we are in higher positions, transitory on earth, we have greater potentials for us to help more people. Yeah? Then we come in positions, let's say, in a poorer ones. I have less, but still I can help. But you may say, you don't have money. How can I help others? Sorry? I can do voluntary job, but I don't have time because I need to work full time. How can I help others in that position? Are there situations where we don't have time? Because we need to work to pay the bills. And then I have come home and I have the kids to look after. So I don't have time to do voluntary work. How can I help? You are laughing there. What comes to your mind? Teach us. How can we help others in that situation? Do you know?
If you read voluntary time.
Yes, that is what I was looking. We can even do voluntary work at home. Be charitable, or if you follow our religion pathway, we can go there and engage and help and be of goodwill and helping there. But is there another way that we all can help? Be in peace with ourselves, yes. So if we, precisely, if we educate ourselves in a loving way according to the natural laws, therefore psychologically, emotionally, we will be more in peace, and therefore that transcends our own individuality, which also affects the others who are psychically connected with us. Correct? What else can we all do? Develop ourselves. Yes, what else can we do in terms of being charitable?
Treating others with respect, to the people who don't know all the streets.
Treating others with respect, bear in mind the law of universal fraternity. What else? We can pray. We all can learn to pray, and prayer is one of the greatest ways of being charitable. There was incarnates and those who already freed themselves from the physical body. That we all can do. Okay? Any other things? Are you okay? That can also be, yes, could also be, so that my neighbor may not be able to do that, make a cake, share with others. That also comes from an open heart. Yeah? Good. And then we carry on now entering the other aspect, is still within conclusion, but we are entering now the item 9. Tiago, would you like to read it first?
The diverse signs of the Spiritism were weak to arm themselves against it by using some difference of opinion concerning certain points of doctrine. It is not surprising that at the beginning of any science, contradictory theories appear that are based on incomplete observations, while each individual is still considering it from his or her own point of view.
Mm-hmm. Would you like to comment? What are we learning now through this paragraph?
You find a lot of resistance for other people who doesn't know the doctrine, the spiritual doctrine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In fact, in the family, friends.
Okay, so those who may not know Spiritism, they may be against it, merely because they don't know, they don't understand. Is that what you're meaning? Okay. What else? Why would we resist if we don't know Spiritism? Fears of what? Fear of being exposed. Imagine if they know who I am.
Fear to change.
What are you laughing? Imagine immortal being. Who was I centuries back? Well, we always go back to the center. We are beings created by God. Yes, we have plenty of shadows, but you don't need to neurotize ourselves with that. You don't need to be fearful. We all do have imperfections. What did you say here?
Fear to change.
Fear to change. Fear if I'm learning now within Spiritism that everything on earth is transitory. Oh my God, and my position. Oh my God, I give so much importance to the money. And if I now, next existence, or even in this existence, something may change, oh, because I'm attached to matter.
Acho que conceitos são difficult when you grow up in a place, parents teaching them have a religion. I think it's very difficult when they grow up in that environment. The adult life to change because they're very touched with these concepts, spiritual concepts. And everything outside this is for the evil, something's bad, and they don't really understand it or read. If you recommend a book, read that book, oh, that's a lie, there's this, and that's very difficult sometimes.
Yes, that is temporary. It may be difficult in one existence, but as we are all children of God and therefore mutable under His laws, we will change sooner or later. If we already are changing, good for us. But also in certain schools of spirituality, not everyone is difficult. Some people, they reach a level, and because we bring the natural laws, God's laws within ourselves, they reach a point that knowledge is not feeding their soul anymore. They may not know it in that level, but then they go in search in another way that is correct. And if we talk with people in the family who don't believe, we are asked to respect them, because sooner or later they will also understand that. And we need to choose to carry on our journey evolving. Yeah? Anything else that you take from here? However, Chris, read for us, please.
However, reports of such theories with regard to Spiritism have already been studied in the light of more in-depth studies, beginning with the theory that attributes all spirit communications to the spirit of evil, as if it were impossible for God to send good spirits to humankind instead. Such is an absurd doctrine because it is believed by the facts and is impure because it's a denial of the power and goodness of the Creator.
Would you like to come? What did we understand when we read, when we heard? Perhaps we start at the beginning, go through it. 3/4 of such theories which regard to Spiritism have already been struggled in the light of more in-depth studies, beginning with the theory that attributes a spirit communication to the spirit of evil. How do we understand it? What changed throughout life through this new understanding? Are all spirits evils? Are there theories on earth who say that spirits are devils? No, they are. Are there not religions who say that they are only devils, those spirits will communicate? We still have that on earth.
Sorry,
Unfortunately.
I don't understand what you say no, but I understood other.
I think you did. What did you understand? What did you understand?
Because everyone say yes, they say no.
Yeah, be cautious. Don't follow the people. Suddenly you realize you're not sleeping. Oh my God, what did I say? Okay, what was my question?
In some religions, you say that the spirits are always evil. There are some places that say that.
Some religions, yes.
Yes, they do. They say they're evil or are demons, isn't it? We still, unfortunately, we still have that on us. Yeah. And what do we, within Spiritism, understand that the spirits are?
All of us are not physical.
We are all children of God, immortal beings. Young, when he came, and he referred to demons, but he meant spirits. And he's evil. But never said that they're evil. We are all children of God, essentially beings of goodness. But we bring our limitations and shadows. But we are not evil or demons. We are immortal beings. And then carry on.
You can just come back to that studies, the importance of studying and reading, like Tavi said, because today, yes, we have a lot of access to information. We tend to read things quickly and then have an opinion, but it's quite important to actually study.
To go in there.
Yes, just to make an idea of things and have a point of view.
Yes. Why is that important? To go study in depth. Because these days of immediacy, the WhatsApp, the words become short words. Sometimes I receive a WhatsApp and say, what is that about?
I may,
Because people don't write the words anymore correctly, isn't it?
I may listen to a 15 minutes lecture about medicine, think I know everything, more than a doctor. So we come to this point now in society, we need that this importance of study that
Precisely.
you sit down, read a book, what do you think, or read on a tablet or whatever, just take your time. Instead of, it is important to hear someone speaking, but it's also important to go to the source.
Is it easy for us to learn Spiritism?
It's easy.
No.
Is it easy?
You can read it, but easy is not.
Why not?
No, it's easy to find things to study, but to learn, you have to really be
I think
focused.
to learn is not difficult, but apply it to our life. It's difficult. Sometimes you conflict yourself, sometimes you have things you have. That's because learn is not difficult.
The learn is not difficult for everyone. Everyone finds it easy to study Spiritism. What do you think?
Everyone.
No.
I think if we stay on the 5 books of the codification, that is a lot to take on. If we stay on the introduction of the Spirit's book,
Precisely.
I don't think it's
I think it's not easy. Why is not easy?
You have to be prepared for the truth, and not everybody is the same level yet. So to accept what you're doing is not for everyone. Some people may read and they say, no, not true. They can read everything, but they will not
Okay.
use it.
What other reason is there that it may not be easy for us to study Spiritism?
Because Spiritism is trying to treat this, confront ourselves. Because they say what's good, what's bad, the life is short. It's just some people, they are not ready for that.
Okay. Would it be right in saying that for some people it's not easy to study Spiritism through laziness, through indiscipline, to lack of willpower to progress, to put effort into that? And another reason is that Spiritism is a science, is a philosophy with ethical consequences. Is that easy to learn in one go? A science, and it's not a human science, it's a divine science. How many years do we need to study a human science, roughly speaking? Depending, roughly 8 years. Now, how many years do we need to learn the divine science? Jesus! Can we see now why it's not so easy to be said? We all bring on the emotional level or resistances, as Tiago said also, because if I start to study, I also will contact my inner resistances and my inner old concepts that I may find challenging. I may say, I don't want it now. Because the purpose of Spiritism in our life brings what to us? The word starts with R.
The word starts with
R. Did you hear what I said? Studying Spiritism brings what to ourselves? Responsibility. And what you just said, a lot of us, we yet don't want responsibility. We don't want to be responsible for ourselves because that means changing habits, changing our ways of being.
I can see that example with my family. My father is spiritualist the last 2-3 years, and we have other relatives. For them, it's difficult because they are Christian Protestants. And the main point I find if I talk to them is the point they are respectful for themselves. They know the will of God is that because the will. No, it's not the will of God because I have a karma, maybe because I have a bad behavior. Many things because you don't be responsible for your personal life. They can't accept that. They prefer everything to the will of God.
Yes, because it is, if you look even ourselves, we come from a very long journey already, where we have been indoctrinated, let's say, from the outside inwards, and we haven't been stimulated much to think, to rationalize for ourselves. And that will happen for every spirit in evolution sooner or later. So good if we already are challenging ourselves. But yes, we are responsible for everything what we think, what we feel, what we do. And as more as we evolve, we condition our will in relation to the will of God, which is always goodness, which is always towards our will happiness.
I think it's very, just to add something, very common. Some people say, because for the church this is not allowed, or the pastor or reverend tell me this is allowed, this is not. That when they say that, I realize they put the responsibility on themselves.
But that is where we are also coming from, because that is the way that it has been happening throughout centuries. That is exactly what Spiritism is helping us to enlighten our minds. It's no longer like that. We are invited to think for ourselves. So when we see or have in families these members, we respect them, but we carry on our journey, understanding that they also will one day understand.
And just observation point.
Yeah. Because that is the way of the majority places. We are told what to do. We are not told to think for ourselves. But that is temporary. So in that way, we are coming to the end today of our study. And as always, towards the end of this meeting, of this gathering, which is so important in our existences for ourselves and those in the spirit one with us, brothers and sisters in humanity, choose to study in order to enlighten ourselves, to expand our consciousness towards the real truth that comes from God, the creator of everything and everyone. Our gratitude towards those enlightened spirits who are with us, our dear friends who inspire us, who bless us, who stimulate us to carry on studying, so that we go gradually deeper and deeper in the understanding, helping in our renewal process and becoming more enlightened, becoming better beings, becoming humble, so that we embrace our destinies as immortal beings, essentially beings of good and love, that we already are, training ourselves in our daily basis to be more charitable, more forgiving, to be willing to put effort into training ourselves to conquer the real values of life: humbleness, discipline, charitableness, forgiveness, tolerance, patience, and so on. And involved in these vibrations of goodness that we find ourselves in, we give thanks to everyone who helped us here today, and we follow our way with hope and courage to carry on our journey of self-enlightenment. So be it.